If you're looking for an on-camera powerful flash right now, you're probably looking at two different options. One is the Godox V100. The other is going to be the Neewer Z3. And I have to admit, I've had some fun with both of these flashes. So let's jump into this. Both of the flashes are the same power. They're both 100 watt, which is as high as you can get right now with a regular flash, almost into small strobe territory. They both look similar. They both have the cool back on them. And they're both trying to win your dollar. So today we're going to figure out which one is the most bang for your buck, and does it come down to always the cheapest price? We're going to discuss this, and we're going to show some pictures at the end, because we want to see what the things look like in real life, not just on a spec sheet. If you guys don't know me, I'm Daniel Martin. I was a photographer for 42 years, and now I run this YouTube channel, and we have a lot of fun on here. So if you're looking for a photography home, consider making this your home. But let's jump into the flashes. As far as power is concerned, like I say, they're both at 100, and the menus are basically the same. If you're familiar with either menu, you're going to be able to work the other one. No big deal. Touch, drag, 0, TTL, -3, +3, both of them. Very simple to work. Both put out good power. Just both fantastic. Both weigh about the same. I think the Z3 is a little larger. I'm not counting that, but I think it's just a little bit larger. Not much, not enough to make a difference. Both can handle outdoor fill light. Both can compete with the sun a little bit if you're close enough. And both are strong enough for portraits. So it's obvious that power is not going to be the deciding factor in this video. Now here's one thing that people want to know. What's the price? What's the price? Well, you can get the Z3 for about $220, $250, somewhere right in there, where the Godox V100 is going to be more around $300 to $350. So you will be paying more for the Godox. Now, the Godox does have the little flash on the front that can make a difference for fill light. I like it. This has modeling lights on the front. So if you like this, some people like this, some people hate this. So it depends on, it'll come on and off. So it depends on you if you like it or you don't like it. I like it for certain situations. Not every time, but certain situations, because when you're bouncing, you're going to lose a little light. This will give you a little fill light to make up the difference. This one is just for modeling light. So right offhand, we know that the Neewer is going to be the cheaper of the two if you're just looking at price versus price. But it don't always come down to price versus price. Let's see what we're getting for our money. Build quality is very important. And both of them are made pretty good. They're both heavy duty. They're both plastic, but they both feel like even if you're just holding them. And they feel really good, both of them do. And there's a lot of things that are equal on both of these flashes. I was really surprised. I've been a Neewer fan. Neewer is an affiliate of ours, and Godox is where I've always put most of my stuff into. I'm in the Godox ecosystem much heavier than I am the Neewer, but I do use Neewer for like these video lights right here, Neewer. But most of my photography equipment, I always go with Godox because Godox has a stronger ecosystem. They're known for quality, and they're just a little more proven reliability with Godox. And that's very important if you're making money. Now, I'm not hating on the Z3. The only problem I had was I did have 2 misfires. However, I'm not going to blame that on the flash. It could have been me on the camera I was using. Maybe I didn't have it on tight. I was using the Z3 on my Canon 6D with my Canon 85mm. And when I was shooting with the V100, I had it on my Lumix S5 Mark II. I didn't get any misfires with the Godox. I did get 2 misfires with the Neewer. But again, that may have just been I didn't have it on good enough. I can't say, I haven't used them long enough to say, oh yeah, if you buy the Z3, you're going to get a lot of misfires. I'm not at that point. I can't say that. So I'll take the blame for those 2 misfires because once I took it off, put it back on, it worked fine. Probably me. And, if you're talking to photographers in the real world, you're going to hear things like Godox has better color consistency and a little better flash consistency. And that's what I would have said, because in the past with some of the newer flashes I get on TTL, it's a little inconsistent. It'll be a little bit hot, then it'll be a little bit underexposed, and then it'll be right. And it's kind of all over the place, which is kind of annoying when you're shooting a wedding, where Godox seems to be more accurate every time. They don't nail it 100% of the time, but they do seem to nail it more often on past flashes from the comparisons that I've done. These two, this was the best Neewer flash I've ever used. I'll give it that. If Neewer is going this direction, I'm going to be able to keep upscaling from here, then they're going to be hot on the tail of Godox. No question about it. This is a really, really good flash. I was impressed with it. You'll see the pictures at the end. The Neewer, it feels solid. It has the metal connection at the bottom. It has good ergonomics, and it has improved build quality over its past flashes, no doubt about that. Neewer used to be considered kind of the budget, where Godox was above kind of a budget. They were just below brand name, but they've kind of ran the brand names from making flashes. You can't hardly find a Canon flash or a Nikon flash anymore. You can go to Pro Photo, but you're going to spend $12 million on a flash. Not really 12 million, but more like 1,200. But that's still a lot of money. You can buy a couple of these and a couple of these for the price of what you're going to pay for one Pro Photo. So we're not going to bring them into the question. We're comparing these two flashes. So I have to say that Neewer is really upping their game with this Z3. Godox with my V100 is still an awesome flash. It's still my go-to flash. Godox is proven long-term, and that's very important if you're going to throw on a flash and take it to a wedding. You don't want to go, hey, it worked good the other day. I sure cross my fingers and hope it works good today, because you're at a wedding or an important event and you're getting paid. You want to know you've got consistency. And Neewer, I don't think it's quite there yet, but if they continue on this building, on this platform, they will get there. It's a very, very good flash, and I'll tell you who would be the most likely to buy each one. Both have TTL, both have high-speed sync, both work wirelessly, and I believe that the Z3 will work with the Godox triggers. Now, I know it will with the Neewer triggers. I'm 99% sure of that. I should have looked that up, but I'm 99% sure, so don't hate on me in the comments below at the bottom if I'm wrong, but I am 99% sure that the Neewer Godox triggers will work with the Z3 off the camera. So let's take this time and jump into the pictures. I'm going to label the pictures and show you what we got. We did some inside, well, we did a few. We did a few inside and we did a few outside with the Z3 and the Canon, and we did the same thing with the Godox and the Lumix flash. So let's take a look at those pictures right now. All right, so those were the Z3 pictures. Not bad. Pretty dang good, honestly. So now let's have a look at what the V100 did. So as you can tell, they both did an awesome job. Like I said, the only problem I had was I had 2 misfires with the Z3. But again, I'm not going to hold that against them because I really do think it was my fault. I just want to let you guys know it did happen. But once I took it off and put it back on the camera, it worked completely fine. So we'll name that as user error. I would hate to tell you not to buy this flash because you're just going to get tons and tons of misfires. That would not be a fair rating at all. So just know that was probably my fault. This one, I didn't get any misfires or anything. It just worked. So if you liked those pictures, and I think you probably did, they both did a good job inside. They both did a good job outside. They're both plenty strong. I mean, there's no question that both these flashes are just fantastic. But who would be the one to buy which? So that's our question now. We do know the Neewer is cheaper, but we know Godox is a little more reliable history. So with that in mind, if you already are in the Godox system, or if reliability is of the utmost importance for weddings or whatever, and you want a full ecosystem around your flash, you may want to go with the Godox V100. That's the system I'm in. It's a great system, great flash. However, it is a little more expensive. If you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of money and you want to just get started, you might want to save $100 and go with the Neewer Z3. It's not a bad flash. You saw the pictures, they looked pretty good. If you're building a setup, Neewer might be a good because they're starting to build their own ecosystem. I believe Godox is still ahead in the ecosystem, but Neewer's on their tail. It's like, here's Godox coming along, you know, and Neewer used to be back here, and now Neewer's catching up. But I believe Godox still has the lead with their big ecosystem. How'd y'all like that little demonstration? That was pretty good, wasn't it? I have to use that more often. Sorry, I get a little goofy sometimes. If you're just wanting to do portraits, the Z3 will be fine. If you need power, that 100-watt power, but you don't have the extra money just yet, go with your Z3. And then if you eventually want to move over to the Godox system, you'll know that the Godox triggers will fire the Z3. This is the best product I have seen from Neewer, hands down. Fantastic, just jam up good product. Feels good. The screen's beautiful. It just did a fantastic job. I don't want to say I was shocked because I like Neewer. I've got a lot of Neewer stuff around. I got a lot more Neewer stuff than just these lights that are on me right now. I have a lot of Neewer stuff around, not hating on them. I just think Godox has a little more time, a little more experience under their belt. But given time, Neewer is really catching up. So we got a good battle on our hand. This is great for the consumer to have two great options. So if you just need strong performance, but you don't have that money, extra money, you can go with the Z3 right there. And I do love, you can do touch screen or you can drag it with your finger, whatever you want to do. And the Godox is the same way. Touch plus minus, drag, whatever. They both have awesome menus. I love both the menus. They were accurate. Just both did a fantastic job. I can't say there was an outright winner. That's why I was listing who I think the Godox flash would be for and who I think the Neewer flash would be for. So here's the bottom line. I think the Neewer is going to give you a little more bang for your buck, but the Godox would give me more confidence over time, just based on their reputation. So you saw the pictures, both look good, both put out good light, both put out the correct amount of light. They're both super powerful. A little bit of difference in price. They both have the metal hot shoe. You almost really can't go wrong with either one. Like I said, what I listed for who needs the Godox V100 and who I said needed the Neewer Z3, that's probably what I would base my decision on. So either way, both fantastic flashes. And I will leave a link at the bottom for you guys to check them both out. I just want to say that actually this really was. I've tried the Z1 and some of the older ones, and the Z2. The Z2 was all over the place for me when I was shooting for it, but the Z3, they fixed the TTL problem. It was jam on. It was on target. So it seems like they're trying to do their best to catch up with Godox and give them a fit. So it's going to be a good race. It's going to be good for all of us photographers to see as they both get better, because if you've noticed, about a year ago, I thought, man, Godox has the coolest products out you could possibly imagine. And then they came out with things like the IT30, the IT32, just the coolest stuff you can imagine. They're little flashes that, here's my IT32, little bitty flash. You can use it as a receiver, controller on top of the flash. It has the color menu on the back. Godox has just a huge ecosystem that Neewer doesn't quite have yet. So that's my 2 cents. So if I did not answer your question on which one is best, and I hope I did. I tried to be very fair on what I used on both of them. I'll use the Z3 a little more, and if I run into any issues, I'll let you guys know. But so far, I'm very impressed with it, and the Godox V100 is still my wedding flash for the very few weddings I have left to shoot. But anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about either flash or maybe another flash, just drop your question down at the bottom and let me know, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. I appreciate it, and thank you for your time. Thank you for watching our channel. Have a good day.